Hey everybody, this is Nick with Learn the Ropes, and today for our What's Next series, we're going to be talking about a toad and what you should do after you've mastered it. Just as a reference, a toad looks something like this. And like I said, today we're going to be taking you through tons of skills to make that a little bit more challenging. So make sure you have your rope and we're going to have a good time. All right, so before we get into some of our challenges, I want to make sure that you can do the skill both sides, all right? So make sure you do under your left leg, make sure you do under your right leg, just to make sure you're efficient at both sides. The first skill we're going to get into is an inverse toad, all right? That skill looks like this. So for an inverse toad, what we're doing is we're actually crossing on the outside of a leg. You can pick your leg, and here's what you're going to do. When you first do your crisscross, all right, whichever arm is on the bottom, you're going to pick up the same side leg. So if my right arm is on the bottom, I'm going to pick up my right leg. I'm going to cross on the outside of that leg, all right? If you like to cross and your left hand's on the bottom, you're going to pick up the left leg and you're going to cross just like so. Notice whenever I'm crossing big enough so that my handle is reaching out so I can still jump that back leg, okay? So you're going to take a couple jumps like normal, reach huge on the outside, and that's going to make up your inverse toad. It looks like this. So the next way that we're going to make this toad a little bit more challenging is we're going to do it backwards. That looks something like this. So when you set this skill up, clearly you're going to be going backwards. Big backward swing. Now, when you get backwards and you actually take that jump, you're going to basically go into your normal toad position, all right? I'm going to pick my favorite leg. I'm still going to cross on the inside. The only difference is that cross is coming as you are jumping it backwards. Right when you jump it backwards, I go right into my toad. Once I'm here, my front hand's going to do a lot of the work to get the rope over my head, so you'll see it moving a little bit more. And then as it gets over my head, I'm going to use my wrist to finish that rotation. Then I will jump out of it and continue to jump backwards, all right? So that backwards toad looks something like this. So the next skill we're going to get into is something called an EB toad. That skill looks like this. So for this skill, you want to make sure that you can do an EB first before you even do this skill. So an EB is your front back cross, and make sure you can do it to both sides. Now, when you start this skill, you're going to start off with that side swing and basically like an EB swing to put the rope in front. When you get the rope in front, whichever arm's in front, you're going to pick up your opposite leg, and then that's the leg that you're going to be crossing under. So I'm going here, I'm going to cross. Now, if you notice, right when I did that and jumped it, the back arm came out. When the back arm comes out, it's going to allow the rope to travel forward. And once the rope travels forward, it will drop at your feet, and that's where you can jump, all right? So really slow, I swing, cross, it comes out, and I jump, all right? So I'm doing a little bit faster, jumping, swinging, and that is your EB toad. So the last skill that we're going to get into today is something called an Awesome Annie. That skill looks like this. So if you notice, I did a toad, but I did another skill called a Kruger or leg over. So before you start this one, you want to make sure that you can do a Kruger to both sides, just to make sure that you understand that skill as well. Now, when you do this skill, you're combining these two together, and what's going to end up happening is you start off with your toad, and when the rope gets over, what you're going to do is take the arm that's on the bottom, and you are going to shift it to the other leg. So if you notice, I went from one leg, and then I shifted to the other leg. When I got to the other leg, that is where that Kruger comes into play. So it goes toad down to my Kruger. Once it comes over, all you're going to do is continue shifting back and forth, but you're not going to shift until the rope comes over your head. Then when you're ready to get out, you're going to basically kind of get back to that toad and open up, but you can also do it from a Kruger as well, all right? So one more time, that Awesome Annie looks like this. So we hope that you enjoyed today's video. We gave you a couple ways to make that toad a little bit harder, right? One, we did an inverse. Then we did it backwards. We added an EB in there and we made it really, really fancy, and we did an awesome Annie, okay? Before we let you go, please, please, please look below. We got some links down there, and we want you to subscribe because we want to build up our followers, keep helping you the best we can. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we can't wait to see you for our next skill.